importantly, the focus wasn't there. And I've said that, I told the team this, look, man, I'm going to look at everything. That's my job. But when you get whipped like that, that's on me. There's no other way around that. You know, of course we'll look at everything, but that's a reflection on me. That's a reflection on me. You don't play like that. We don't have a team that is, you know, a team is not 30-something points better than us. There's no way. And, you know, they did. They played well over there. But we didn't execute. We talked about tempo. We come out. We go penalty. We go MA on offense. I mean, what the heck? So we shot ourselves in the foot. We could not execute. We had some plays that were there to make. We didn't make them. You know, so it's brutal. It's on me.
Hopefully we can make some plays here today on Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. T-Foss, the esteemed, the dapper.
Hello.
T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house today. Happy to be running with him on a Monday. My name is Neal Ruhl. Joy Condimac will be back tomorrow, but we're happy that you are here today. We're taking your comments on our YouTube chat thread, as always. If you're interacting on the show on social media, certainly we do appreciate that as well. Our Twitter handles are down at the bottom of the screen. Get involved, because I'm sure you guys have some thoughts. We have some thoughts, as we always do. Fish is in the bowl. Art is in the production booth as well. And T-Foss, I always feel like every season, every Lions season in particular, we always have that day of reckoning. I think because fans are a lot like Art, they're a lot like Fish. It's 10-7 limos. It's what can they do. You know, the vets, certainly like yourself, I've become an established veteran, I guess, now too. We try to warn you, but sometimes, T-Foss, you can't help people from themselves.
People are hard-headed. They want to believe, and I don't know why. But there's always a day where the coach becomes lionized. When the fans hit a wall, they're like, okay, this really is not going to happen. And everybody gets emotional. And I will say this. Why do we get emotional over the Lions? They don't deserve our energy. They don't deserve our passion. They don't deserve our, getting pissed off. Because this sort of happens to a certain extent every year.
Yes, it does.
17 of the last 21 seasons, losing seasons. And I'm willing to bet this is going to be number 18 out of 22.
And look, they got absolutely cooked, and we just played the sound, and Dan Campbell talked about it from Jump Street, from the kick, from the opening kick. You saw how it was going to be. And I don't want people, T-Foss, to lose sight of the fact. And look, you were in the building yesterday, correct? Were you down
I was
at Ford
downtown.
Field? You were downtown at Ford Field. Okay, were you downtown in the mix, I guess you would say.
Having fun.
Yeah, I was not. I did have other work duties for the first half, thankfully. I was calling some NCAA soccer for ESPN Plus, so thankfully I didn't have to watch the first half. But I did watch the second half, and T-Foss, there was not even 50,000 people in that building. I think the reality has set in, and it's fine. Look, this roster's not good. It's
Surprise.
Not. Surprise.
Right. And it's injured, and they're getting into what little depth they have. So we might see this again and again and again and again. And one thing I did warn you last week, at some point we were talking about how the Lion players are playing for this guy and they're giving all out. But if you don't produce a win, at some point you say, I forget it. That you lose that little bit of mustard that got you through the first few weeks with close losses. And you know what? Maybe the mustard bottle was dry. Maybe that's what we saw yesterday. And we also saw a team, Cincinnati, that stayed focused for 60 minutes. I don't think, for instance, San Francisco did not stay focused for 60 minutes. They took care of their business, took their foot off the gas, and just coasted. Cincinnati was like, okay, we're going to show you who's boss for all 60, and there's not going to be any fake comebacks. No backdoor covers or things like that. We're just going to smoke you.
And that is exactly what they did, T-Foss. And look, I can't even question whether or not Cincinnati was focused, Terry, like you talked about, because you look at the offensive play, and in particular, the quarterback play. I got nothing for you guys. And look, in this business, and T-Foss knows this, he built this business in this town. In this business, we're supposed to say, well, T-Foss, let's take this angle to it. Let's take that angle to it. We'll save this for later in the week. There's none of that here. This is a bad roster. This is what I've been talking about for weeks. This is what it is. We're 6 of 34 done now. And I didn't want to go to it this early, T-Foss, but the Jacksonville Jaguars won yesterday.
They did.
The Detroit Lions are the only winless team in football, and you know what? That's fine by me. And there's a small part of me that's sad that Joik Bell, and there it is, there's the tracker. That's D-Mac's Lions clock.
I know that we probably should have waited for D-Mac, but, I mean, you mentioned
it's
the
relevant.
6 of 34.
No, it's because that's been my mantra about all this.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant what happens out there on the field. And I know that. And again, part of me is sad because Joik's not here, because I really feel like he and I would mix it up. You know, T-Foss. I'm tired of hearing that. Well, you got to get a win, or no. You know how you get out of this, T-Foss? You know how the Lions organization gets out of this? Through the draft. That's the only way forward. And I don't care. I don't want to hear about morals and being professional and giving everything. That's the only way out. I didn't make the system. That's the way this system is. And right now, the Detroit Lions have 3 of the top 33 picks in next year's draft. And that's the only way out of this. I'm sorry.
It is the only way. But here is what's happened over the years. They've blown the second round picks.
And I understand that.
And they've blown draft picks. Now, you hope, the only way out is Brad Holmes.
He's the only way.
You hope that he's different from other guys. Because when we talk about the draft with the Detroit Lions, all we talk about is the first round pick, because that's usually the only one they get right. Second round, they screw that up too. So the only way out is Brad Holmes.
That's it, Terry. There's no. I keep hearing people talking about, well, maybe they should go to David Blaueck. Come on. What is that going to do? There is no fix on this roster, Terry. There is no fix. There's no adjustment that can be made. There's nothing that can be done. It's over. It's been over before it started. That is where we're at right now. And the draft, Fish, it's the oasis in the desert right now, Terry. And I know it always is, but this is it. And Brad Holmes, as you said, he's the only guy that can save this. He's the only guy. He's the only guy that matters. I mean, obviously the scouting department, but he's the only guy that matters right now.
Well,
Dan Campbell can't win with
trigger.
this.
No, and I am seeing flaws in Dan Campbell as a head coach. One, we talked about his mistakes at the end of games and games that they maybe had a chance to win. Yesterday, he did not put his team in the best position to win, but his team was unfocused. You have a offsides. You have people out of position on the first series offensively. Those are mental mistakes. Those mistakes are like, okay, I didn't hear what they told us to do, or I was asleep, or I was playing Pac-Man or something. You at least have to be focused. You have to at least be in position on the right position on the field, and they were none of that.
Right, and now we're getting into chicken egg type thing, because if it's a bad roster, that's what bad players do. I watched the Cowboys-Patriots game yesterday, and now today I'm seeing Michael Irvin on ESPN saying, Cowboys fans, get your Super Bowl tickets ready and all that stuff. At the beginning of that overtime, Patriots had a pass to one of their receivers, was wide open, in stride, hit him in the chest, he dropped it. You know what, T-Foss? That's what bad teams do. That's why they're not good teams. That's why they don't win games. This, what we're seeing with the Detroit Lions, has all the characteristics of a bad roster. And again, I'm not here for any of that. And Terry, look, I'm not being negative. I do believe in Brad Holmes. Yeah, you have no choice at this point. What else is there?
You got to believe in something.
You got to give me something to believe in.
I know you want that draft pick.
Yes, I do.
Here is where I'm coming from. I agree with you. But I feel sorry for these slobs who go down to Ford Field with the little Lions gear on, and I saw people with masks on and all kinds of crap. They're ready to rock and roll. I feel sorry for them because they put all of their heart and soul into this team, and this team keeps kicking them in the teeth.
Yeah, and I have a friend like that. I've talked about him on the air a lot. Every year we get to this point, right, where I was talking about earlier, there seems to be like a tipping point in every Lions season. But through all that, I think even he sees the grand picture, and he's terminal. Like, there is no cure for him.
Poor thing.
There's lots of terminal Lions fans in this town, and that's fine. You know what? I was a season ticket holder the year after they went 0-16. That's when we jumped down. We had season tickets for 4 years, me and my buddies.
Why?
And I did it because we had gotten to that point in our lives. Everybody was married and having kids and stuff like that. That Sunday morning,
but you're going to see garbage, though, dude.
No, but it wasn't that.
Was it 2 for 1 or something like that?
No, Tifa. It wasn't that. It was, life gets going. It was that Sunday morning was a time that we all hung out and saw each other and had a couple beers in the parking lot and stuff like that. And it was cool until 1 o'clock. And then it wasn't cool anymore, But that was, and all the people that go down there, I'm sure that the stands are full of those stories and those traditions and everything like that. I'm not one of these people that's going to say, hey, don't go. Nothing's going to change till you don't go. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm not one of those people. I just want everyone to understand what this is. And even the talk around town about, well, you know what, you have to be professional and you have to put your best foot forward and you want to get some momentum going. None of that matters. 3 of the first 33 picks next April. It's all that matters. It's the only ticket through. And I know, again, feel like gold dust. No, but even through all this, Terry, that's the only thing that can be done to save it. It's the only thing. And it's going to take 2 of those. And they have 3 of the first 33 picks the next 2 years. That's all there is. I got nothing for you. And again, I know that goes against this industry and what I do for a living and what you do for a living and talking about sports. I know you say, well, what are you going to talk about for the next year and a half? The draft. Because it's the only tool. Save that stuff about, let's get a win and all. Save that. It's all draft, Terry.
Well, it is, but I still go back to the poor SOBs that go to these games, pay money, pay $200-300 for a night, a day out. All they want to do is see their team win, and they should at least get one. And the other thing is, if this team does not win a game, I'm not saying you're going to see mutiny, but you're going to see dudes check out, and you're going to see not only losses, but you're going to see really lopsided losses like you saw Sunday.
You're going to see bad players check out. So what? You know what I'm saying? Dan Campbell's got a 6-year contract. He's going to be
There's no entertainment value. That's the thing.
Yeah,
if they're going to lose, all right, lose 27-20. Still a loss, but entertain me. Don't get smoked 34-11. Don't quit. Your job, you get paid millions of dollars. And then these people here who come see you play, if they perform like that in the factory or in a dentist's office or something, guess what? Their asses are fired.
Just like these guys are going to be let go. These guys that aren't good,
they're going to get paid.
Play,
they're going to get paid for this year.
They are. To the nature of their labor agreement, that's what that allots them. But I have no problem with what's going on. And I know everyone wants to sit there and point the fingers at Jared Goff. And was he bad? Yeah. Did Dan Campbell say he was bad? Yeah. We'll have that audio for you coming up in just a little bit because I do want to get in to that. But the YouTube commenters, Terry, they're what you think they would be. John Suba says, Neal is preaching right now. You're the man. Your outlook is what every fan needs to think. Like, people talk about players being professional. I think if you're a fan right now, you have to be professional because this is what it is for the Lions. Again, I'm going to keep going back to it, and you're going to hear me talk about this for a year and a half because it's the only way out.
See, I don't expect fans to be professional. I expect them to be fanatical.
Right, and they're
and a little bit dumb and a little bit gullible. That's what fans are.
No, and I understand that, Terry, and that's fine. I'm not telling people what to do. As I said, I'm not telling people what to do. But you need to take a look at the big picture. I always hear people say, well, sports is a business. It's a business. Well, it can be a business for you as a fan, too. and you can choose to not engage. I'm not calling for it, but you can choose not to.
You're asking fans to do something they're not capable of doing.
I know. Well, I'm always going to watch, Terry. You're always going to watch. Everybody's going to watch. But you know what, Terry? For the fans that do disengage, another great way to re-engage with football is through MyBookie. And look, guys, where you're betting's just as important as who you're betting on. That's why I always tell the people, put their money down at MyBookie. We're right in the sweet spot. It's Rocktober for sports right now, everyone. That NHL action, you can get those puck lines, get the Wings plus 1.5. You can do that. NBA tips off this week. Of course, the NFL's in full throttle. MLB playoffs, the Braves, a thriller last night against the Dodgers. Can they do that? Can they take out the Dodgers? Prove it. Go to mybookie.ag. Get that action down. They got some great deposit specials going on right now. Use the promo code Woodward. You'll get double your first deposit. That's promo code Woodward, so you can double your funds to double your winnings. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Call the Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
No. Now, it doesn't mean that something won't ever come up. I'm going to look at everything, But look, to me, this was a collective effort offensively. This is not. You can't blame one person there. Just like, I know maybe you think it's easy to just throw it out and for me to blame it on myself. Look, I gave plenty of. They heard plenty from me in there. But the bottom line, and that is the truth, is that I didn't help them. I didn't help them prepare for this game properly, or help our coaches help them prepare properly. So yeah, they got a hand in it, and we'll be evaluating them. But everybody's going to be evaluated as well. Everybody.
Everybody is going to be evaluated. We're going to Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, T. Foss, Terry Foss, Detroit. Sports media icon in the building with us here today. My name is Neal Ruhl. Joy Campbell, D-Mac will be back in effect tomorrow, but we are talking Detroit Lions. Really, how can you not be? As they fall 34-11 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Jared Goff, 202 yards, no touchdowns, interception. About 150 of those came in the fourth quarter. It was a grim scene down there at Ford Field. Fish told me there were north of 50,000 people in there. Okay. Did you get that information from the Lions?
No, I got it from ESPN. Just their attendance track or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's. I don't think it's a lie. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing more honest in the world than attendance figures, Fish. Nothing more honest ever.
It's people that go through the gates.
No,
so
it's so. They, in a lot of times, they make up numbers. I remember back in the day, the Pistons, every game, 21,454, which is a sellout. There were not 21,000 people in that building. A lot of times it was like 15,000 or 16,000. There's a lot of empty seats, but they still say, hey, got another sellout tonight, 21,454. You're the greatest fans in the NBA. They just make stuff up.
Well, that does happen at the LCA. You know why? Because everyone goes to the restaurants at the LCA.
Oh, that's a great bit. I do remember that.
There are actually 22,000 to go, but half of them are in the restaurants eating Kid Rock's food, or what do they got, a Point Bet thing in there now?
Point Bet's thing in there now?
We
Yeah, they got
get
a
lied
Point Bet
to as a
sportsbooks.
public. They lie to us. And we believe the lies.
Well, so how do we fix it? How do we get actual attendance?
You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
You
just,
don't. Like, that's pretty simple.
You just don't pay attention to it. You just say, okay, whatever.
T-Foss, this is off script a little bit, but I saw this pop up in the YouTube chat thread, and I think it's important because this feeds into exactly what I'm saying about being a fan and being professional about it, because I do want to address this. Tactile Puma 58 says going 0-17 does far more bad than having the first overall pick does good. And I would say no, because as soon as You get to hear that 3 times in the first 33 picks, number one. But number two, as soon as it's over, Terry, as soon as the season's over, and you're 0-17, that's it. It's over. It's on to the draft, and that's what it does. I don't understand that the 0-17 does damage to a franchise. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, here's what people believe, and it's poppycock. They believe that games that you play in December carry over into the games that you play in September. That is false. The only thing that 0-17 hurts is that some jerks on TV would say, hey, the Lions are 0-17, ha, ha, ha. So what?
Right.
They're going to laugh at you anyway. Whether you're 0-17 or 2-15, the bottom line, the Lions are a laughing stock, whether they win 2 games, no games, 4 games, or whatever. The laughter is still going to be there. And the stench of 0-17, the stench of 0-16 is going to disappear. You know who else finished 0-16 is having a pretty good time now? The Cleveland Browns. They finished 0-16. Are they still under that dark shadow?
No, they were a play away from beating Kansas City last year.
I have a reason why they turned it around, because they had an 0-16 parade. That's why they turned it around.
Well,
Simple
we should have
solution.
had a parade here.
We should have. Can we have a parade when they go 0-17? Can you guys be there?
I think we should get a limo.
Commit to the...
Think we should get an 0-17 limo, Art?
It's too soon.
It's a jalopy.
Too soon.
No, but that's what it is to me. Is I don't care about that at all. Going 0-17, that does not bother me, because that has no impact on fixing this. None. That stuff happens in a vacuum and it's over, Terry.
You know how you get rid of 0-17?
You draft well.
Correctly. You build yourself a team. You have good coaching. You win football games. And the story becomes, hey, this franchise that was 0-17 is now in the playoffs and they're Super Bowl contenders. So what?
And how do they do that?
By drafting.
By drafting. By having six picks in the first 33 picks in back-to-back drafts. Got to hit 4 of them.
Bam.
That's it.
And if you do, you're monsters.
And you're monsters, Terry, because you have 4 good players on a rookie con. You see, like the draft capital cap space mantra that I operate under, it's pretty common sense. As a matter of fact, it's the only way forward. Mike says, rules, Big D energy, love me some draft capital. By the way, Terry's hat looks like he works at the Daily Bugle. You need a little press tag on there.
I should get a little press tag. And by the way, I do work for the Daily Bugle. I want to announce that here.
Yeah, absolutely. Terry's hat makes him look like he's opening for Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett.
If I could sing.
Oh, Matt loves Frank Sinatra. You should perform for Matt.
Yeah,
he would love it.
I could sweep the floor for him, but I can't sing.
Tommy Williamson, stop defending Goff. He's an NFL quarterback. And sure, his wide receivers aren't great. You deal with that, but he is horrible. And that's fine, but you can't tell me David Blau's any better. Like, everyone's acting like David Blau is Max Scherzer in the bullpen right now.
All right, let me give you the history of Detroit football. We always dog the starting quarterback and demand that the backup take his place. And that backup is a backup for a reason, because he's bad. Now, let's look at the last 5 or 6 years of Lions quarterbacks, and it only pertained to Matthew Stafford. There were a lot of people who defended him, but there were a lot of people in this town that said, you know what, this guy is a bum. He can't lead this team. In the big moments, he falters. Okay, now what happened to this bum of a quarterback? The dude goes to L.A. where there's a real franchise, a real team, real coaching, real players. Now he's the talk of the league. And Jared Goff is inferior to Matthew Stafford, but anybody who coaches this crap is going to look bad. Anybody who quarterbacks this crap is going to be dogged by us. Because I don't think fans understand. You don't understand how bad this franchise is, because you love this franchise. You want to believe there's hope. There is no hope. No hope with dope, fans.
Well, see, Terry, like, because I'm putting it all on Brad Holmes. That's the hope that I have. That is, as a Lions fan. I mean, I'm not going to go root for another team or anything like that. I mean, I've grown up rooting for this team, watching this team my whole life. I mean, I'm not going to get emotionally invested in an 0-6 team.
You know what?
Way.
And I broke one of my rules there. Don't get emotional over this team. They are not worth our emotions. They're not worth our passion. So, for the rest of the show, I will talk like this. The Detroit Lions are not a good football team. The Detroit Lions do not deserve our passion. So, bam.
I like it, Terry.
No more screaming.
But again, it's going to be my talk going forward. It's just where that's really all that matters, because this roster is just devoid of talent. It is. There's none there. There's none there. Tommy Williamson says, get the first overall draft pick and trade. And that's fine, too. God, I love that sound, man. I just do. John says, how many of these players are even going to be on this team in 2023? Who cares if we go 0-17? That's my point. None of these guys are going to be here. What do you got? Maybe T.J. Hawkinson? I forget how much time he's got left on the contract, which is usually my thing.
No, he'll be there. Penei Sewell will be there. The young guys will be there.
Yeah, like a few. I mean, really.
We suck.
Realistically, how many guys? Well, I mean, Hawk's a restricted free agent in 2023, unrestricted free agent in 2024. So, I mean, with all that stuff being said, though, realistically, though, like a hard look at this team, who's going to be here? Who?
We don't. Hey, Dan Campbell may not be here.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Derek Barnes, Aleem McNeil, because they're all on rookie contracts. They don't make any money, so we're seeing something from those guys at least. And there's another overriding, I guess you would say, message in their YouTube chat thread as well, which you can get involved in our Woodward Sports YouTube channel, where they say the first round is for stars, which is true, but you build a team the second through the seventh round, which also is true. But that's why Brad Holmes is here. Keep in mind, people, the Rams never had a first-round pick his entire time because they were trading him to get that piece to put them over the top all the time.
Right.
And he built that franchise. Cooper Kupp, you guys know the roll call. Cooper Kupp, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All Brad Holmes picks in the non-first round. That's what I'm hanging my hat on, Terry. That's what I'm pushing all my chips in with, because it's the only card that we have to play in our hand.
But let's look. Here's what the Lions do. T.J. Hawkinson can play. But other teams get their T.J. Hawkinson and better in the third, fourth, and fifth rounds.
Yeah.
The Lions got to get it in the first round, or else they're not going to get it.
You're absolutely right. And they are playing the Rams this weekend, which is fun. I know they're going to be an underdog. I know that's going to be the case.
Yeah, unfortunately, but also fortunately, because with the draft, I need it, Fish. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, if you were thinking, man, I drafted a terrible fantasy football team, well, that's okay, because there's weekly fantasy available with Underdog. You use that code WSN, deposit $10, you're going to get $10 back to use, and it's really simple. It's really straightforward. They've got an awesome, slick, convenient mobile app. You could also join a league and draft a team in minutes. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com, the App Store, or on Google Play Store. Use that code WSN and get that $10. We got more Big D energy with the great Terry Foster, the powerful Neal Ruhl, right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Big D, Big D.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, the venerable T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy you are with us. Woodward Sports Network, Fish and Art are here as well. We're talking Lions because we have to, and it's Monday after an NFL Sunday, so you guys know the drill at this point. The Lions fall to the Bengals. They get absolutely crushed. Dan Campbell said as much. And you know what the other thing is, T-Foss, really quickly, and I do want to get into this Lions-Rams thing because, oh, by the way, the Lions got to go out to LA and play the Rams. That should go well. But throughout this early part of this Lions regime, Terry, when I've seen Dan Campbell talk, I've always thought that in the back of his mind, he knows the reality of the roster. He knows the reality of the situation. He understands it. I've always got that feeling from him. You know, with what he doesn't say, the words he says, and how he says them, he knows what this story is. And Terry, as weird as it sounds, that makes me feel a little more calm about it.
Okay.
He's got to say the words he's got to say. I get that.
He cannot admit that they don't have talent. He cannot admit that he's sort of learning on the job. So, because if he does that, then people are not going to go to games. They're not going to buy their Lions gear. They're not going to, show up downtown. They're just completely abandon this team. So what teams and coaches have to do, these press conferences are marketing events. They're trying to convince fans, we still got a shot. We are looking out for your best interest. Buy some tickets. That's what this is all about. Now, if he was truthful, he knows, okay, you know what? This team stinks. But you can't admit that. We can say it, but he can't.
Right.
He
and
can't
I understand,
say that.
and that's why I cut him a break to some degree as far as that goes. I can't ask a world-class chef to come in here and make me a five-star pasta dinner and give him egg noodles and ketchup. I can't. No chef in the world can do that.
No.
So again, that's where Brad Holmes comes into play, because Brad Holmes is the key holder to all of this. Dan Campbell's a coach. That's fine. He wears it. He knows that. He knows what he signed up for. That's why he asked for a 6th year.
Even if that coach is doling out ketchup and noodles, he will say, you know what? We have the very fine, exquisite pasta here.
This is the Heinz top-of-the-line line of ketchup.
With a
organic puree-based tomatoes.
No. The tomato sauce from Italy that
inspired from Italy.
Inspired, yes, and has secret herbs and spices and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, I'll get a dish of that. And then you eat it and like, oh, damn, this is spaghetti and ketchup. It sucks. But they got you to buy it.
No, and they did, and I understand that. And again, that's why he knows. That's why he wanted a 6-year deal. That's why he said, "Hey, give me a 6th year," because this is the reality of your situation that we're walking into.
You know what? The Lions were dumb enough to give it to him. I would have said? I would have said, "Look, dude, who the hell are you? You're not getting 6 years. You might get 3 years."
Well, you know what though, Terry? Maybe everybody else said that too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
We'll never know. We don't know. We never know what the true market was for that job. And you know how it is, Terry, in any line of work.
People want to be a head coach.
Yeah, in any line of work, right? Like there's younger bucks that want to do it and will do it for less than established people. You know, that's the way that economics works.
To me, he had no leverage for a 6th year. But the Lions gave it to him, and I don't understand why.
Maybe he used that roster as leverage. Like, here's your cap situation. Here's your roster.
And you know what I do? Okay, I'll find somebody else. I don't need you. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Goff certainly is taking a lot of heat, as we expected. As we expected, that would be the case. But as we said, the Lions are going on to L.A. now to play the Rams, and Matt Stafford, I believe, said it's just like every other game. And when you're sitting at the top of the table, the top of the heap, you can say that every game is like every other game.
And you know what I can call him to, though? A liar. Big fat Matthew Stafford liar. He knows good and well it's not just another game. Athletes always say that, and then 4 or 5 years later they say, well, it wasn't really just a game because it was my boys and I was emotional and stuff like this. So one of two things are going to happen. He's going to absolutely light up the Lions, or he's going to play like crap, because it does mean something to him. Now, here's my expectation. I have a term called mollywop.
I love
the
that
Lions
word.
are going to get mollywopped in L.A. First of all, they're on the road. Second, they're playing a real team that has something to play for, and they're the Lions.
Do you think that they'll lose by more than 15? The over-under is 15 right now.
15? I would. I still take the Rams. So the Rams are 15-point favorites.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about that, Terry, is they opened up the game at a 13.5-point spread.
And no one bet the Lions.
Rushed to the windows to take the Rams right around that 14 line, and it stretched up to 15.5 as we look at it now with no signs of slowing down. Like, it's Monday, and this thing's moved a couple points already. My buddies and I always, when we talk about point spreads and all that kind of stuff, my one very, very good friend says, who's taking the Lions? Like, who's going to that window and saying, I'll take the Lions in 15? Like, make a case for one person. How do you even make a case? I don't even ask you to bet on it. Like, make a case for betting on it. What do you got, Art?
The Lions do the back door cover as well as anybody. So
they didn't yesterday.
No, I was raising my hand because I'm one of those idiots that took the Lions. So
all right, well, that's you've proven your wares time after time.
I've proven my stupidity too.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, baby, how's that 10-7 limo looking these days?
Yeah, it broke down, miserable.
It broke down on the side of the road.
Up on cinder blocks.
Yeah,
I told you that thing's gonna be up on cinder blocks.
And it's got a big orange sticker on the window, 2 orange stickers. Final notice.
It broke down on 75 right now. They're just gonna use it.
Well,
as
you're probably gonna find a kid in the trunk. That's gonna be me.
Yeah, fish would be
still in that trunk.
Yep.
No, but a mollywop certainly could be the scenario. One funky Lions fan says getting mollywopped means something different today. Totally, Terry.
What? I guess I'm behind the times then too.
Yeah, I'm behind too.
Mollywopped always meant like you get beat by like 40 points. Like, what else could it mean?
The kid's still doing the molly these days?
Oh, that molly. I would not know.
Yes, I don't deal with that. That's for the young people.
Yeah.
My mollywop is just ass kicking.
Yeah.
You get your butt beat. That's what that is.
Ryan D wants to know if the Lions win this week, does Neal have to wear a fedora as well? I'll do a deal for you, Terry. If the Lions beat the Rams, I'll wear a fedora in here because we usually do the shows together on Mondays. I'll wear one of T-Foss, the T-Foss signature line. Wow. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm calling for it.
I know I won't have to pull any more out the closet. You're not going to have to wear one, so don't worry.
Yeah, we may as well say, hey, Terry, you can give Neal a bafillion gajillion dollars. And that would be about the same thing. But, hey, I'll do that. I'll do that for you there, Ryan D. If the Lions beat the Rams, I'll wear the fedora. I'll wear the jacket and the shirt. We'll have a
fedora and the tank top. How about that? That works.
Yeah, I got to have the feather in. We're going all the way. If we do it, we're going all the way.
Oh, you know, I got different colored feathers.
Do you really?
It depends on what outfit you wear. Let me know what outfit you're going to wear, and then I get to the feather that'll match.
We'll coordinate that.
Okay.
Why are we even going? Now you guys are just like, now you're.
You know
being
why?
rude.
Lions have a chance.
We're clowns. With the Detroit Lions, you have to be able to smile and laugh and act like a fool.
I really, as much as like Lions fans know that we're gonna lose this weekend, like even myself included, like this is gonna hurt. This is going to hurt bad. Like, if it was a close game, I think we all could sit and be like, hey, they were competitive. But none of these games have been competitive in the sense that they always screw up in the fourth quarter. My thing is, though, it's like getting beaten by the more attractive boyfriend. You know, like, he's better looking. We have Goff, and, like, we're going to get beat by the guy who's better. Like, he's better looking, he's better player. This hurts. I'm having a mental breakdown right now because
see why?
Don't get emotional about the Lions.
Oh God, it hurts so bad because I was a believer. I was a believer in the Dan Campbell. Now when I hear the kneecaps biting, I think what a fool I was to even believe that for a second.
Terry, this is what no one warned me. No one warned me that
all these young people off the ledge.
Terry, no one warned me that this is what parenting is like, and I'm feeling the same frustration I feel with my sons right now. The only thing you can do is continue to live it. Then you live your reality.
It just hurts.
You live your truth.
It hurts.
I tried to help him. I did.
You did your best.
I tried.
But when
I tried to help Fish.
Adam sat right in your chair, Neal, and said, "Oh, they'll go 0-17," and I'm like, "No, they won't." And now I'm like, "What's happening, guys? What are we doing? Like, this is it's so
I feel
bad.
like a failed parent. I came in here, I come here a couple days a week, and management said, "Hey, we got some young people who are a little bit misguided. Can you help them?" I said, "Yeah." Tell them the Lions stink and nothing's going to happen there. So I tried, I was like, "Hey, guys," sat them on my lap, showed them, told them the history. And then they're like, oh, you don't know anything, old man. Well, these Lions are going to be good.
They are. They're going to be good.
It hurts. It hurts.
I felt
And they still have a chance to go 10-7, by the way, Mr.
my
Terry
God,
Foster. They do.
George says Terry and Neal sound like my pops when they talk about the Lions. See, I like to fancy myself. I skew a little bit younger. I like to think that, but I feel that way. I do.
It's just like now I'm looking at the calendar of the games coming up, and I'm like, just give us one. Just one. Like the Bears when they come to town. Or maybe Aaron Rodgers will get injured and we'll beat Green Bay. Like, just one. I just want one. Just one win. 1 weekend. One Sunday.
See, and there's a lot of people like this. Give them their one win.
Just one.
George says something here. I think that's funny because nobody's really talking about it. Chuck says, I re-listened to the kneecap talks. He never said we'd win. He said they'd fight.
Oh, come on.
That is true. He did say that. That's
come on.
correct.
Come on.
But there was no fight
That's
yesterday.
the narrative we're going to do, guys? That's the narrative?
No, but
like, come on.
Art, that's what it is, man. He
then
knows
why did he
it.
do that whole speech? That's like going to war and saying,
What do you
we're
want
going
him
to
to
fight
say,
with
Art?
everything, then we lose. Oh, I never said that.
Art, what do you want him to say? Be
I
like,
want him to say we're going to suck. Be honest with a delusional fan like myself. Tell me we're going to suck for 2 or 3 years.
He was being as honest as he can be, man. That's what I took away from all that. Like the people,
Come on.
the people read that as, oh, we're going to compete and everything like that. Not with that roster, you're not.
I'm stupid. I'm the stupidest person on this network. I'm an idiot. You
Okay.
win, Dan Campbell.
It's like me fighting Tyson Fury. I know I'm going to get my ass kicked. But you know what? I'll talk some trash and say, you know what? I'm going to give this mug a black eye before the day is over.
You don't talk trash unless you can do something.
Now, I might have 4 black eyes when it's done. I may not be able to think. I may not be able to walk. But he's going to walk out that ring with some damage. That's what Dan Campbell was doing. He didn't say we're going to beat him, but they're going to remember who they played.
It hurts.
Well, they didn't. Cincinnati doesn't even remember now.
Dom Rivera says the Lions got screwed by the last 2 years of Patricia. We should have grabbed a quarterback either year. Are there any quarterbacks that are available in the draft? I haven't heard of any. And, yeah, that's the story. Somebody else asked me earlier. They said, Neal, are you on the Bryce Young bandwagon? Yeah, man, because we're going to have the draft capital to do it all.
Neal, come on. I know.
What?
Come on. Even if we had an elite quarterback, who are we passing to? Who else on our team?
But that goes to
come
show
on.
you the depth of what has to be, the work that has to be done
Can I
here,
say
man.
something? And Juice commented and said that I'm going through what Lions fans have already gone through. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm a Red Wings stan until the day I die. I always follow the Red Wings. This year, I decided, you know what? I work at Woodward. We're going to go all the way. We're going to go 10-7. And this is heartache. So, Uncle Terry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to publicly apologize. I
You
should have
didn't listen.
believed in you. I
That's
should have
all right.
believed in you.
I know a lot of people like this.
Well,
you know what I think Art needs? I think Art needs to become one with the wilderness for a while and just get himself together. Maybe a nice camping trip or something like that. What do you think, Art?
I need the light bulb to go off like they do with the coast lamps, and it hasn't happened yet, people. Listen, they won't give me a machete, and it's a good thing. They're not giving me the Darren McCarty machete. It's just, it'd be bad news. But since 1919, Coast has pursued one mission, and that mission is to not only be awesome when it comes to your outdoor gear, but to make the professional working job a little bit safer and a little bit easier. Use the code at coastportland.com, WSN20. You get 20% off your purchase. And also use that hashtag, How We Coast as well, and show off how you use your Coast products. But sign up with the Coast crew to take advantage of special discounts, early access to new products, and more. That's 20% off code WSN20. We have the anti-delusional Uncle Terry, Uncle Neal. They're going to give you some more talk about the Lions and more and around the NFL coming up next with Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Down and popping here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. The Detroit media icon, Terry Foster, in the house for Joik and D-Mac. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy y'all are with us. People are fired up today. Just firing away on our YouTube chat thread, social media, all of it. We're grateful that you are. Don't forget the bottom line. We'll be on here, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards from 2 till 4. What do you got, Fish?
Speaking of fired up, we have a birthday today.
We do.
And does anyone know who that birthday is?
Yeah, Kennedy Broadwell's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Kennedy if you're watching.
You know, I went to the game to give Kennedy a little birthday present yesterday, but she was not there to witness it.
She was not there. She'll be back tomorrow, by the way, on the Morning Woodward Show.
I wore a Lions hat. I know that would have stunned her.
Whoa, you have Lions gear? I didn't even know you own blue. Do you know what blue is? This is blue, by the way, Terry. Are you aware this is blue?
No, I refuse to buy Lion stuff. A friend of mine said, you know, you have all this Red Wing and Piston and Tiger stuff. What do you have Lions? I said, nothing. So they took me to, went to Dunham's and they bought me a Lions sweatshirt.
Did you?
And they're making me go to the January 9th game. I think it's January 9th against Green Bay.
Yep, Packers, yeah.
So that will be the only game I will be at this season in person, inside Ford Field.
I'm going to tell you right now, if and this is it's a big possibility, if Aaron Rodgers comes to Detroit and says, I still own you, that's it for me. You will not see me on here anymore. I can't. That is the ultimate hurt. That is the ultimate hurt.
I will be there January 9th with the other 15,000 Lion fans.
Well, at this point, we'll be lucky if we have 1,000 by then.
There'll be at least 40.
No.
Maybe. If you're looking at 0-16, do you want to go and see 0-17?
I don't, but there are people that do.
The last game at home against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers is in MVP contention. Do you really want to go to that game?
But Packer fans could come out.
Hang on, time out though. Terry, I've got a question for you. If you were to show up to that game in a Packers jersey, I would applaud you. I honestly would. Because at this point, you might as well switch to a winning team. No one's going to give you a black eye in Ford Field because you're wearing a Packers jersey. They're going to be jealous. They're going to say, wow, I wish
Have you seen all the fights that happened?
I wish I were you.
Right.
Yeah. Have you seen all the fights? There was a fight at the LCA parking lot, so I would assume there's going to be a fight at Ford Field if you come in for Packers jersey.
Yeah, these fans.
Especially Rodgers.
We talk about this all the time, man. These fans, and they're fighting, man. They're fighting in the stadiums. They're fighting in the parking lots.
It really ramped up after COVID. It's like people got out. Yeah.
Why? You know why? Because fans just can't. I think it was normal, but they're just talking about it because fans are back in the stadium.
They're not just fighting in stadiums. They're fighting on airplanes.
Well,
they're fighting in nightclubs. They're fighting on the streets. People are just gone berserk.
They really are, Terry. Like, what is the problem?
Well, it's because we haven't seen each other.
I don't talk to people when I go out.
Me neither.
What do you do?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
Nothing. We're cool.
I just want another drink.
Right. That's all I want. Just give me my beer or my bourbon, and just leave me alone. Because I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight anybody.
I don't understand what's getting into people. The NFL yesterday, another Sunday of games wrapped up. T-Foss, was there anything, just anywhere across the league, was there anything that jumped out to you yesterday, non-Lions related?
Oh, geez. I was all invested in the Lions game. It was good to see the Chiefs kind of come back. Oh, you know what? Cleveland Browns just got decimated yesterday.
Mollywopped.
Yeah, that's a mollywop at home. Yeah, that one kind of.
It's funny. It's funny with the Browns because it always comes back to this for them, right? Like, so last year they're a play away from beating the Chiefs in the playoffs, and they would have been the new toy this year, and everybody would have been all over them. And there were some people that were still on the Browns, quote unquote, bandwagon. But it seems like this happens every year with the Browns. Is they build up to a crescendo. They play a big game that matters, i.e. the Cardinals come into town or whatever. They get beat. Everyone's like, oh, see, I told you Baker Mayfield sucks. And then you forget about the Browns for a little bit. And they'll probably win 3 of the next 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they'll come up to the next big game, and then they'll lose. It's just...
That's what's going to happen to the Lions in like 4 or 5 years. You're going to think, okay, they finally went over the hump. They're going to, contend. Then here's a big game at home against Kansas City or Green Bay, and they'll just get smoked. Or they'll lose some couple games against 1-5 teams or 2-7 teams or something like that. That's what the Lions are going to transcend to. A team that you think is going to be good, but when the big moment comes, they'll just fizzle away.
Yep. Chuck says the Ravens look better than expected. And I would say the Chargers have, if it's not the worst rushing defense, it's one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL. That was a bad cocktail for the Chargers to go up against the Ravens and obviously Lamar Jackson. And I think that the Ravens really exposed, because I know the Chargers were the sexy, as they won, everybody was saying, hey, look out for the Chargers. And certainly their franchise is going in a great direction. There's no doubt about it. I love their coach. I love his philosophy, all that. But at some point, you do have to stop the run in the NFL.
You do.
Just
and
do.
The Justin Herbert.
No, but it is. I mean, that was a bad matchup for the Chargers, and it went down probably the way that the numbers would have dictated. Juice's Ghost says, I whopped a Molly, and right now I'm sweating. So there you have that.
Good. Oh man.
Can we please play the clip of Aaron Rodgers? And actually, I'm just going to play it because I just love to be miserable. Of Aaron Rodgers saying that he owned the Bears after the run. Here we go.
Rodgers snaps it quick. Pressure coming. Scrambles to his right. Pumps and runs. Aaron Rodgers is inside the pylon. Touchdown Packers. It's Rodgers running for the score. Right on cue, Joe.
It hurts so bad because I know it's coming to us.
That's Aaron Rodgers.
No, he won't do that here. You know why? The Lions are so irrelevant and so unimportant.
He won't feel
Aaron
the
Rodgers
need to.
won't even have to do that.
Oh, that hurts even more.
Why? He'll just score a touchdown and flip the ball to the ref and walk off.
When can I say something? When can we move the Lions to London? Detroit, the Ford family does not deserve this team anymore. Let's sell it to someone in London. Austin Powers can buy it for all that I care.
You know, I want Matt Ishbia to buy the Lions. He's got
the cake now.
Yeah, he's got some money
from United Wholesale.
Yes,
that's actually not a bad idea.
You know why? Former athlete, not a good one, but a former athlete.
Former Michigan guy too.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State
did his thing there. He's got family here. He cares about Detroit sports. He won't be a rubblehead as far as owning the team. He'll try to do some things. He might fail at first, but he'll keep trying and trying and trying. I want Matt Ishbia to buy the Detroit Lions.
Earl Stevens says, my thing is, why not take Deshaun Watson for a second-round pick? We are losing. Price would be cheaper. He wins a couple of games for us, and the Detroit fans will accept him. And I would say because Deshaun Watson's on a 4-year, $156 million contract right now. For you don't know if it's a man that might not have his freedom.
And even when he was the quarterback and rolling, Houston stunk. So you will bring him here. He'll do some things, but the Lions are still going to lose.
And there's that, too. And you're going to lose with a 4-year, $156 million contract. Like, you can't justify that kind of risk.
Right.
You just can't. For again, you don't know how this legal situation is going to play out. You know, the allegations of the sexual assault, all that stuff. So that's a hard pass.
Real quick, guys, you're being called toxic in the YouTube chat, and we should stop talking about selling the team since they're doing so great. But I just figured I'd let you know both of you guys are so toxic. Just so.
Well, who said I was toxic?
I don't care. I am toxic.
Fords aren't selling. Shut the bleep up.
I never said that.
This radio show is so toxic. Shut up about selling the team talk.
I never said that.
No, that was me. And I'll point and say, ship him to London. We don't want him in Detroit anymore. Sell the team. There, I said.
No, but this plays into my part. This
what
plays
about Germany?
This plays into my whole opinion about this team. They're not selling them. They're never going to. So stop. And I'm not saying they should. It's their team. They can do what they want with their team. The only way through this, the only way, and I know it's a hard conversation to have, the only way through this is through the draft. That's it. That's the only golden ticket. That's the only golden ticket you have.
Or if the Fords sell the team. I said it.
But again, the only way through all this is in the draft. And you have 3 of the top 33 picks in the draft this year as it stands right now. Why would you want that to be worse? It's the only thing you can do. Why do you want to win a game? Why do you want your draft pick to be worth? Because, and I know that's a tired argument. Everybody says that. I didn't make this system. That's the way the system is. The worse you are, the higher your reward is. I didn't make it. That's just the way it is, T-Foss.
All right, brother, but if you win a game and you have 3 of the top 34 picks, what's the difference?
One pick.
Yeah.
One pick, Terry.
But the team ahead of you may not want the guy that you want. So,
but they might. You know what I'm saying? The only way you can eliminate all this is by having the number 1 overall pick and then the number 3 overall pick, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's the only thing you have. That's it. Like, I'm being a professional about this.
No,
Control the controllables.
Look.
No, all these taglines I get, Terry.
Do you want to see? I know you want to see them lose, but do you want to see a team that comes out every weekend and loses 40-10 or something like that?
It doesn't bother me at all because I'm being a professional about this.
It bothers me because I like to see competitive football. I like to, I don't care.
Terry, guys, we're not seeing that. No matter what. The roster's not good enough. The salary cap situation, the contracts on the books are bad.
I think you saw that for the most part for the first 4 to 5 weeks. At least they, you knew they stunk, but at least they gave it the old college try.
Cool story, bro.
This crap we saw Sunday should not be in our city. This was garbage. And the Lions should be ashamed of themselves. Dan Campbell should be ashamed of themselves. And you should be ashamed of yourself for supporting it.
But I didn't support it, Terry. I support losing. That's what I support. That's what I want to see. You know what else I support, Terry? Lunch. Because it's getting to be lunchtime right now. PapaRomanos.com. They have a pizza that's pleased to meet you. That's right. It's the Meatza Pizza. Pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, bacon. It's topped with a blend of fresh cheeses. You can get a large Meatza Pizza for just $16.99 right now. And look, every Monday after a Lions game, it's a heavy Monday. So get that Meatza Pizza. You can have a heavy pizza on a Monday. You got the whole rest of the week to get right after that. Speaking of that, I got you right on Saturday night. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. But you can win. The Lions can't win a game, Terry, but you can win lunch by going to PapaRomanos.com. Order for the whole office squad. PapaRomanos.com.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
It's on and popping here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster in the house for Joyke Bell and Darren McCarty. They will be back tomorrow. Happy to have you guys along for the ride. The YouTube chat thread, the social media channels, all of it. Certainly grateful for your guys' interaction, your thoughts, and involvement. Fish is in the bowl as well. The child of the Flint Streets, Art, is in the production booth. And we're bringing it to you. We're bringing it to you. Noah M. says, I'm being professional about this. Seconds later, you say, cool story, bro. Well, hey, I'm talking about controlling the controllables. The only way out of this is through the draft, guys. And I want the best draft picks possible because it's our only defense. I didn't make this system. That's just the way the system is. I'm sorry.
Or the Fords could sell the team.
Hey, Terry, don't be toxic.
Okay, I'm sorry. Or you can be like Maz. Maz wants to switch quarterbacks.
What is that? Why?
Because that's what we do.
Because I know,
in Detroit.
And stop before you even click send. I'll tell. Because it can't be worse. I understand that. Yes, it can be worse. It certainly can be worse. Like that. This is what this roster is, guys. People really thought. I mean, judging by the outrage of people, Terry, they really thought like something was going to happen this year, didn't they?
They did. But this is a vicious cycle every year. I'm telling you, these poor SOBs in July, August, maybe the first week of September, they convince themselves that this team is going to be good. They see talent that I never see, and they always say, well, you know, last year they could have won these games, but they didn't. They'll win them this year. They convince themselves. And then by October, which it is now, They get so pissed off. They're like, doggone it, Lucy pulled the football underneath me again. That's your fault. That's your fault for falling for the fake every year. Shame on you for the people who always fall for the Lions fake. Drink that Lions Kool-Aid. Eat that Lions cornbread. That's your fault. Wake up.
Tammy Chin says, speaking of the Red Wings, Neal's boy Zadina scored on Saturday. Power play goal, too. I like it. I was fired up. I mean, it wasn't the most snipiest of shots, but, hey, it went in, and that's all that matters. He played with a lot more purpose on Saturday, I thought, than he did on Thursday. He looked driven. Thursday, he just kind of floated around the ice. I was at the game, and I followed him exclusively for about 4 of his shifts, and he literally just floated around the ice. But Saturday, I watched from home, and he did. He looked more locked in. I was happy to see that. So it looks like he was taking it personally. Quentin Quinney says, Neal sounds like he's the only one that actually cares about the franchise. And I do. And again, I'm going to keep saying it because it's the only way they can get better is through the draft that everyone wants to poo-poo and say isn't important. It's more important to win games. No, it's not. Let's be professional here.
They just want to win a game. Nobody's talked about winning games.
No.
They just want to see
Terry.
This little guy wants to see him win one game. He wants to cheer.
Just one, please.
That's it.
I just want to cheer for 1 weekend and then
Terry,
go back to depression.
do you guys understand winning one game? Do you understand the impact that could have? You could go from having the number 1 overall pick by winning one game to picking 7th or 8th.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Terry, I have the standings right here. Terry, I have the standings right here.
The Lions will win that game. If they finish 1-16, I guarantee you they will get the second pick at least.
So your count. Okay, the second pick at least. Here you go. Here's the NFL draft order right now as you see it. One win could plummet the Lions all the way down to 7. There it is, right there in front of you, Terry. This is a high-stakes game. It is.
You're overreacting. Oh. If they, dude, this is a quarter of the way through the season.
All I know, Terry.
If they finish 1-16, all I know they'll get the number 2 or number 1 pick.
Right.
And
Art
will be happy. He just wants to run out his living room and cheer for one Sunday.
Terry, let's take the variables out of the equation. We control our destiny right now.
Okay, that's lovely.
We
give
control
this
our
man
destiny.
his one win.
Boy, you just don't want to see me happy, Neal.
Not till 2023.
Just like all my exes.
Hey, not.
Just don't want to see me fly and be happy for a little bit.
No,
it's all
we
about
don't.
you and the draft. When has the draft ever done the Lions any good?
Hey, Art, you ever think that maybe it's you and you just don't want to be happy? You ever think that?
Whoa, bro. All my life has been figured out. Thank you, Neal.
No problem. I'll send a bill.
Yeah, now you just cut me down one less baby mama, so thank you. I appreciate that.
Maybe the problem's you, Art. You ever think that when it's 7 different people, you ever think that maybe it's not 7 people that have a problem?
No,
you ever think that maybe it's a common denominator?
Leave a young man alone. Art is a fine young man. He's just passionate about his little Lions. Give him his one win.
I think there was a lot of personal growth I could have learned in Neal's talk right there, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, and this is fair. Chuck says, okay, when everybody has 2 wins, can we win? Yes. The last week of the season, if the Lions are 0-16 and Jacksonville's next worst and they're 2-14, then yes, you have my permission to beat the Packers.
Neal is the ruler of Lions wins. If he had it his way, they'd never get a win, ever.
Have you figured out the magic number for that number 1 pick yet?
Just the rest of them.
Just lose them all.
Lose
Okay.
them all. Take the guesswork out of the equation, Terry. And again, I'm not saying this. I know a lot of people say that and they're trying to be bitter about the Lions or they're joking about it, trying to get laughs. Folks, I think I've spelled out my case. I'm legit not doing that. This is a vacuum situation here. The only thing that you can control is the draft pick right now.
All I have to say, after this year, the Lions would have had 18 losing seasons in the last 22.
But the only way out of this mess.
And they've had the number 1 pick.
Right.
And they're
this
still
draft
garbage.
means nothing. We could have 50 first-round picks. We're going to suck. Here's my question. I want you to be honest with me, Neal.
I'm always honest when I talk on this microphone.
Okay. Terry, I want you to be honest. Looking at this schedule, okay, We've got the Rams coming
Schedule.
up. Schedule, thank you. We've got the Rams coming up. We're going to lose, okay? But let's look at Philly. Let's look at the Steelers.
The Vikings are a wild card. I know they won yesterday, but at some point they always go Vikings. And they have stinkers just as much as they have good. The Vikings are a wild card in that scenario.
Okay.
Green Bay certainly was a lost cause, as we know.
Watch us beat the Cardinals. Or watch us beat the Rams this weekend. It's always the game we're not supposed to win. We end up coming back and winning. But that happens one time during the season.
That Falcons game concerns me. That Eagles game definitely concerns me.
The Broncos? They got beat by the Raiders?
On the road? No.
Oh, yeah, it is on the road. That's right.
None of those road games truly, except for the Falcons. The Falcons concern me. They're not winning in Seattle. They're not winning in Pittsburgh. You know how I know? Because they never win in Pittsburgh or Seattle. But that Bears game and that Eagles game and that Falcons game, those are my ones.
Okay.
Those are the ones that concern me.
They could have the 3 big victories, possibly.
That's just
and that could do damage. Now you're talking picking six.
No, I agree. That would be damaging.
Now you're talking picking six.
Terry, can I ask you, just as like a man?
Ask me as a woman. What?
Ask me as a woman. As a woman. When does it stop hurting? When does it stop hurting?
If you have personal growth, it could stop hurting tomorrow.
Okay.
But if you are a crazy,
I
love my Lions guy, it never stops hurting.
Okay, I'm ready to be hurt.
Juice says, do you think there are other sports shows around the country that just openly mock their local team? Nothing like being a Lions fan. Love it.
Who sucks more than the Lions right now?
But see, I honestly think people think I'm putting on an act right now.
No.
Guys, I'm 100% being sincere with you.
Listen, I've known you for at least 6 weeks, and you've done this time after time.
Yeah.
When they suck, you are the one to put their feet to the fire. You have to be. What else are we going to do? Sit here and be delusional like me? Like, what are we doing? You're supposed to say, what are the positives of what happened against the Bengals? Name one. Thank you.
They have the number 1 overall draft pick by themselves right now.
At first, I'm going to be honest. I hated you for that, Neal. I was like, God, he's just one of those guys to where he just wants to. I get it now.
Because I do believe, and Terry, I'll put it, you guys can run the record and everything like that right now. I do believe that Brad Holmes can do some stuff in the draft. I believe that. I believe in there's an established track record as opposed to the Matt Millens, as opposed to the Quintricias.
Right, and for real, the Lions Super Bowl will be draft day. that will happen.
But the same thing with you, Terry. Like when you and I first started working together, like I'm a new Lions fan, like Easy's a new Red Wings fan. The only difference is Easy actually picked a halfway decent team. I decided to be a new Lions fan this year. Before I didn't pay attention to them. They sucked. Once Calvin left, I was like, whatever. But now I see it, Terry. I get it. And I'm sorry for ever doubting you. I'm sorry for ever doubting Neal. 0-17, let's go. I'm over it.
Now, I'm not mad. You just let your Lions' passion, emotion, and love for that team overshadow me, who's really trying to help you. I'm trying to help you more than the Lions do.
I know. You know, and when Kennedy posted that video and they got a touchdown and you were just like, okay. I was like, look, Terry's being so smug. I get it now because 50 touchdowns don't mean anything to this team.
No, and again, I'll always do this too, and I feel it's an apropos time right now to go ahead and do this and discuss the true situation for this Detroit Lions. And look, you guys hear me talk about the draft thing. The other thing that we need to discuss right now, Trey Flowers, this is just an example. Trey Flowers was non-existent yesterday, right? Is that fair?
Did he play?
He did play.
Oh, okay, all right.
I had to check the box score, but he did play. Just to give you a for instance on here, his contract right now, he still has 2 years left on that, and his dead cap number next year is $13 million. His dead cap number the year after that in 2023 is $5.5 million. You're not cutting him next year. You can't.
You're stuck with him.
You're stuck with him. Vaitai, you're stuck. That's the level of and I don't think people truly understood that, Terry. We know because we talk about it, but the numbers are gross, man. They are, and that's where you're at with this team. It's not just the lack of talent. It's that some of the players on here, the contracts that they do have, I mean, Vitae becomes a little more cuttable after next year at $4 million, $2.8 million, et cetera, down the line. But these are the contracts that are on the books. It's not just a lack of talent. It's not just a lack of recent hits in the draft, Terry. The numbers that are on the books right now are damning. You're talking about a 2-year cleanse before you can get rid of these contracts.
In other words, you're stuck with this crap.
You are, guys. And that's why I keep coming back to the draft thing. I'm not mocking. I have that much belief in Brad Holmes' resume as a guy that can do things on the draft. And guess what? It's all we got. It's like CMB in New Jack City. All we got. That's it. I'm sorry. I have no other answers for you guys. I have nothing else.
Would you be upset with anyone that's a Lions fan right now if they have a second team? And I'll be honest with you. I've gotten into Twitter wars about this. I wish Stafford and the Rams the best. And I know that goes against your logic and your truth, Neal. But, and at this point, why even watch them? Why?
Well, here's what I will say. If you don't have a second team, I would ask why. Why not? I expect everybody in this town to have a second team.
Do you have a second team, Terry?
I don't have a team.
Okay.
Period. I just enjoy the NFL.
He doesn't have a single team.
Well, and here comes the discussion, too. Like people are saying on our YouTube chat thread, well, why don't you trade Trey Flowers for a 4th or 5th round pick? You're not getting anything for Trey Flowers.
No.
Because no one's taking on a $13 million dead cap hit for Trey Flowers and paying him that monster amount of money that his contract entails. No one wants him for free. You can't give him away, right? You'd have to eat some of the money to get rid of him.
Here's the other discussion that was happening in the group chat this week, and I'm like, y'all are insane. Why would we pick up Cam Newton? Why would we pick up Kaepernick? We suck! They're not going to want to come here for 1 or for 2. Who are they going to throw to? What are we doing? Let's just add more to the pile.
Well, and Joyke and I did that show last week, Terry, when the other Trey Flowers got cut and stuff. And they were like, well, is he a fit? Can he come here and help the secondary? And Joyke was like, well, if he's a vet, no. This is what the reality is. The only way you can cleanse, Terry, is to get rid of it all, if you know what I mean.
Right. And why try to improve this roster this year? You're not going to make the playoffs. You only ruin your draft status. And at the end of the day, you'll still be a bad football team.
Yeah.
So you get to 4 and 13, and so what?
Yeah. Well, hey, Lions, Rams this weekend. Woodward Sports does have you covered as far as the coverage goes. Bad timing.
You tried saying it so positive. If you want to be depressed, come with us.
No, but you know what? If you want to get out and get with the people and hang out
and drink
a
lot.
Jose Cuervo's out there. They're a sponsor of all this stuff. We're going to be out there as well, live from O'Toole's in Royal Oak. The Lions will be hitting the road to take on the Rams in L.A. Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, Maz, and Jade from WRIF as we simulcast the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show on 101.1 WRIF Sunday against the Rams from 2 to 4. Come on out, win some great Woodward Sports prizes. Terry and I sometimes are out there. We've been known to engage in a libation, and Jose Cuervo, as a matter of fact.
I went there yesterday.
Absolutely. So, T-Foss, you could run into him. If you're into celebrities, certainly you can come on out for that. And don't forget about the Lions post-game every week downtown from the Brass Rail. Our guys Stick and Anson are out there, and they'll have all the reaction to the Lions-Rams game. Whew. They're out there after every Lions. But just make a case.
Yeah.
Make a case for it, guys. Maybe on Thursday or Friday we'll do that. Just give me your best pitch. The Neal Ruhl, sell me this pen.
Yeah.
Sell me.
Yeah, we should do that.
Sell me, and we should get clips of the Wolf of Wall Street. Sell me this pen. But you can go down to the Brass Rail after every Lions game and join in the after party VIP area for Woodward Sports fans. There's pizza, prizes, and more. The official postgame for Detroit football is at the Brass Rail.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Okay, we can go a long way. Okay, we can go a long way if we just keep staying with the process and we just keep chopping. We can keep chopping. Because that's a good football team over there.
Okay, that's not a slouch football team. Okay, but it was their homecoming. We came in here, we beat them. Okay, and we got the brass platoon, baby.
The brass spittoon is back in East Lansing. I know Spartan fans were jacked to get the brass spittoon back, but it does reside with the Michigan State Spartans. They get the win over Indiana, 20-15. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster back with you. Joy Bell and DMAC will be back in the building tomorrow. But Terry, I did want to talk about this Michigan State game because I saw a whole lot of slander. Mike says, why don't we trade Trey Flowers for some Jose Cuervo and Jim Beam? Cuervo and Jim Beam are making that trade, my friend. They're not taking that deal. We could try. I'll make the phone call.
It's worth half a glass.
No, but Michigan State got the win. And as I was perusing social media, and look, I watched 95% of that game. And was it their best effort of the season? Certainly no, it was not. Did that offense look dynamic as we were told they were? No, they did not. But Terry,
they covered.
I never have seen more slander about a win where a team covered the spread on the road. Like, people, that game was never going to be easy. Don't believe me. Believe Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, Michigan State, I think when the game kicked off, the spread was down to 4. People expected that to be what it was, Terry. And the bottom line is, because I'm Neal, I was told Ruhl. I was told when Michigan went in to beat Nebraska that, hey, man, it's a road win, and it doesn't matter how you get it. Well, Michigan State did the exact same thing, Terry. They went in and got a road win. Was it easy? No. But they didn't play well, Terry, and they still won.
That is true. But if you look at the stats, you would swear that Indiana won that
100%.
game. Total yards, first downs, penalties, and everything. Let's face facts. Michigan State, I would tell you this. Indiana came out on fire. You could tell their players were jacked up. They really wanted to win this game. It was homecoming. It was they had the bye week.
Antoine Randall was in the building.
That would fire me up. But Michigan State looked sluggish. And I thought the week before, when they had Thorne passing for over 300 yards, you had Walker rushing for over 200 yards, you had 200-yard receiver. Yeah. I thought I was trying to come up with a word to describe them. They were terrific and terrible in the same game. Mental errors, mental mistakes. They couldn't get a punt off. Every time it seemed like every other big play, there was a penalty, there was a hold. There's something not quite right with this brew, and it's Lioness. It's mental stuff. Physically, I think Michigan State has terrific skilled players, but I think they are dwarfed by just mistakes and mental breakdowns, and that's the thing they have to clean up.
Well, Terry, it comes down for me too, and I know this is blasphemy to say, and I took a lot of heat for it, was this Michigan State team, and certainly Kenneth Walker is very, very good. The receiving core is very, very good. They're not this isn't a roster that's built through 4 stars and 5. Like, there's not a ton of talent on this team. You know what I'm saying? They have very good high-end players. They do. The proof's in the pudding. Mm-hmm. There's not a ton of talent on this team. And they're getting, I think that they're maximizing what they are right now. And credit to them for doing it.
Well, that's Michigan State football.
That's Michigan State football, exactly.
They're not going to get a bunch of 4 and 5 stars. But what they do is they get 2 and 3 stars, and they get into the system, and they get hungry, and they're pissed off. They feel disrespected, and they overachieve. I think that's Michigan State football. But still, whether you're a 2 or 3 star, there's no sense in jumping off sides. The mental mistakes can be cleaned up no matter how talented or untalented you are. That's what I mean. There's something wrong with the brew. But the other thing, yeah, people expect them to look better. That's actually a compliment to the Spartans.
Especially how far they've come in such a short amount of time.
Okay, now expectations change. This is a real football team, so I expect you to act like one, even if you win.
Right. And of course, all eyes are going to shift to October 30th, even though Michigan does play Northwestern this weekend. But that's a formality. at this point. And anything other than I saw 21. That spread opened up like 18 or something like that. It's been bet up to 21. There's as much faith in Northwestern as there is in the Lions against the Rams this weekend.
Well, no, you have to look at it this way. Las Vegas doesn't set the spread based on how many points a team is better than. They have to get
equal action on both sides.
Equal action. Michigan people are going to bet up Michigan.
No matter what.
No matter what. But if you look at the history of Michigan football, I'm willing to bet Michigan covers the spread way less than 50% of the time. That's because they might be 4 points better than a team, but then y'all bet it up to 8 points, and then it goes up to 9, and then it ends up at 10.5. And they don't cover those spreads.
And professional gamblers always talk about that. You pay a tax to bet on Michigan, the same way you pay a tax to bet on the Yankees, the same way you pay a tax when you bet on the Lakers. There's a little bit of a money tax that you have to pay because so many people. Because you go to Vegas, right? Think about it. If you're Terry Foster from Butte, Montana, going to Vegas for the weekend with your buddies, you say, Michigan's playing, they're going to win, which I don't understand why, but people do that.
Well, Michigan does win a lot of football games,
but it's a lot like the Yankees. The Yankees as of late haven't delivered. We keep hearing about them, but they don't deliver in terms of winning championships. But it's just there's a tax you pay when you bet on those teams.
But here's how you can have a beautiful weekend if you're a Michigan fan. Root for your team to win, but bet against them against the spread. You'll get paid, and you'll be happy at the end of the day because your team won.
It's a win-win scenario.
The Michigan fan is like, okay, I don't care if the spread is 21. I'm still gonna bet on my team, and they'll win by 15. So you lose money. Yeah, you got your victory, you got your dub, but bet against Michigan against the spread. They usually don't cover.
Rack says, I thought Indiana had no chance without Michael Penix, but that Tuttle kid can ball it. And he was a lot better than advertised. But that's Indiana's system, though, Terry. See, I know here we look around the college football landscape, and it's just Michigan and Michigan State and from a distance, Ohio State. But there are other things going on in other programs. In Indiana, their system that they have in place, that allows for that. If you're a quarterback that's capable of putting up numbers, you're going to look at Indiana because you're going to be allowed to put up some numbers
here's
there.
The thing that surprised me about Indiana. They got some defenders on there. The defense is what impressed me. The way they were able to shut down Michigan State's run. They kept Walker within the tackles, and they just kept, he was pedestrian. I think he averaged 2.9 yards per carry, and that's not him. He always breaks one or two, and they had them on lockdown.
Right.
I thought as I was watching this game, I kept saying, at the end of the day, Indiana fans are going to be saying, how did we lose that game? And I think that's pretty much how it played out.
No, it did. And Zyke Miller says Michigan State has a rotation of lines that make them very good at closing out. If Thorne hits after a turnover, it's a double-digit win. And that is the case. I mean, Michigan State is mentally tough, Terry. They are. I mean, aside from – and you brought up – see, it's interesting to me because you brought up mentally weak things, jumping off sides or false starts or things like that. But when it's winning time, they lock it down. They do,
and they knock the hell out of you.
And that's usually that goes hand in hand, Terry. Mm-hmm. It's funny how that works. Do you have something, Fish? Oh no, okay. I thought I saw you over there. Let me see here on our YouTube chat thread. Lots of Lions talk as we figured. We all said 34 games until we can judge the Lions' new front office, and bing, that's it. That's it, guys.
But we're going to judge them way before that.
Well, we got nothing else to do. It's 34 games is 2 years, folks. Like, we got to kill some time here. We do. So, it's one of those things where we'll.
D-Mac's little Lions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
You're like a weatherman. I always get disorientated there. It's opposite side, opposite camera, whatever. You know what I do have figured out though?
What is that?
That because I'm a guy, I like things honest.
Yeah.
I like things simple, like football 5 days a week. I like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. I do understand that. Walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's pretty easy, folks. Walk in, sign in, get a haircut. It's what you came for. It's wicked awesome.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Listen, if you're looking for employment, you can start a new career in an industry that is always essential. Talking about the heating and cooling industry, and you can learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Back at it here, Big D Energy. Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house. Happy to have you guys along with us today. And, you know, we were talking about that Michigan State victory over Indiana. And one of the sidebars I think that came out of that was, and this was a very good call. Somebody asked on our YouTube chat thread, Mike asked, did the IU game mess up the Heisman campaign for KW3? And I think it did to some degree. And the reason it is, and look, I'm not saying this is right, and you guys heard me talk about this the week leading up to the Youngstown State game and then the time right after. I think that game hurt him a lot, Terry. Just if you're talking about Heisman, and I know people are going to say, no one cares about that. Well, if you want to win a campaign, which the Heisman is a political campaign, right, Terry? You have to have a good commercial. And I really feel like, and I know what they were doing, taking him out of that game. He got like 55 yards, whatever the number is that he did. I really think that they should have left him in there to get over 100 and then pulled him out. And then that way you can have what was, I guess you could say, like a less than performance against Indiana. There's 23 carries for 84 yards or something like that. I think he still would have had a shot at it if that was like the worst total on his resume. But that 54 yards against Youngstown State or whatever it was, Terry, is really going to come back to haunt him. Because, again, we're not talking about competition. We're not talking about games. We're talking about a presentation. And it looks bad on the resume, Terry. It just does. I don't know what else to say.
And I know one Heisman candidate has lost his job.
That's right. Spencer Rattler.
Right. And some people were thinking, hey, bring him to the Lions here.
Number one overall pick.
Number one pick. That'd be a disaster.
No, and I know, and guys, I know you're going to say it doesn't matter, and ultimately it doesn't. But we see this stuff all the time. And I saw on social media, Caleb Williams came in and balled out against TCU for Oklahoma, who, by the way, is still undefeated, who's number 3 in the country right now, even through a Heisman caliber quarterback not performing. But I laugh because Caleb Williams is up to like 40-1 to win the Heisman. He's like the 6th or 7th choice to win the Heisman. He didn't play half the season. Like, Terry, the recency bias that we have through everything is really starting to get annoying. And I talked about this. Like, Michigan moved up 2 spots this week in the polls and didn't play.
Right.
Purdue's ranked 25th now. That lost to Minnesota 2 weeks ago. Like, this recency bias that we have.
It's a brand bias.
Yeah,
it's the
parlayed with recency, right.
But you know what's going to happen. Here's what's going to tick you off at the end of the college football season. You know that Michigan or Michigan State, if they run the table, win the Big Ten, and finish unbeaten, they would be behind Alabama if they finish the season with 1 loss and win the SEC.
Right. And, Terry, because I knew that this was going to be a topic of discussion, I should have sent Art the link to it, but I apologize, I did not. I did just like a little informal Twitter poll on Saturday while the games were shaking out the way that they were shaking out, and Iowa was in trouble, which I told you about. I told you that was coming with Iowa because it always happens to Iowa. Every single year, it's a rite of passage with Iowa. Right, Art?
That is right.
Didn't I tell the people?
You did tell the people.
What did I say again? God, I forget.
I hope Art's not a Hawkeye fan.
No, I'm trying to remember what I said to the people. I think I tried to tell them that this was coming. Did I not, Art? This is going to be my zag when everybody else zigs. That number makes no sense. In no world should Purdue only be an 11.5-point underdog at Iowa. Iowa never gives up points to anyone. It makes no sense. That's why I'm taking it. I will take Purdue in
Neal
that
Ruhl,
game.
no sense of the week.
No
pick.
sense of the week
we
pick.
thought they were. We let them off the hook.
They were exactly who we thought they were, Terry. And so I put this Twitter poll out there, and I included Iowa in it because I saw how that was trending. I've seen that act before. Boy, Jeff Brom owns Kirk Ferentz. But anyway, I put out there and I asked the people, I said, if you had to bet your mortgage and Alabama was playing Michigan or Michigan State or Iowa or Ohio State, who would you bet your mortgage payment on right now?
Roll Tide.
85% of people, and we're in a Big Ten-centric area. I have Big Ten fans that are followers. 85% of them said that they would take, yeah, there it was, yeah. Just a quick little poll. Just wanted to get the pulse of the people. 5 o'clock as the Iowa game was going on. 85% of the people said Alabama. And I think that number's even low. And Terry, that's why Alabama's going to be in there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I said this right after they lost to Texas A&M. I see what the path is. If they win out, they're in. Georgia's in. Cincinnati's in. And probably Ohio State will be in. That's
Right.
what it's going to be.
Well, I was talking to people who guarantee me Cincinnati's not going to make it. They're just not going to let a team not from a Power 5 conference in.
But I don't think they're going to have a choice, though, Terry, because
they can do something shady.
Oh, well, yeah, and they will. Like, they've proven that they will before. Boise State's on line one asking about that right now. Oh, they will, no question. I understand that more than most. But with all that being said, I don't think that there will be no way. Because when Michigan and Michigan State and Ohio State and Penn State all start playing each other, one team's not going to win all those games. You know what I'm saying? One team's not going undefeated through that.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I think Ohio State could.
Except possibly for Ohio State.
Okay.
That's it. But I included Ohio State in the playoff.
If Ohio State runs the table, they'll have one loss.
Yeah, they'll be in.
So they'll be ahead of Cincinnati.
Yes.
Because you would
But
assume...
Cincinnati will be 4.
Okay.
There's no escape from Cincinnati as long as they win. But this whole recency bias thing, though, with the polls, we've seen that can be manipulated. Like the way Coastal Carolina doesn't move up at all. And am I saying that they're like the number 4 best team in the country? No, I'm not saying that. But they've done anything anybody else has done at this point in the season. Now, they won't get an opportunity to play Ohio State or Michigan or any of those teams. They won't get that. And so they'll be left behind the way that those types of teams always are. And I'm not saying they should be in the playoff. Like, do I think they're the 4th best team in the country? No, I'm not saying that. But the same logic applies to what you said is going to happen to Michigan State, because it is. Yep. It is, Terry.
But there are going to be some pissed off people around here.
Yes, there will be. There's no
But once again,
no doubt.
we have to ask the question: if Michigan State, if they're the one that goes unbeaten, played Alabama, who are you picking to win?
I'm sorry, say that again.
But we'll have to ask the question when that happens. If Michigan State, if they're unbeaten, played Alabama, who are you picking to win?
Alabama.
Right.
100%. There's not I don't think that there's a person. I mean, there's a few probably that are watching and listening.
15%.
Yeah, maybe 15%. What do you got, Art?
Speaking of you picking stuff, would you like to go over what you picked this weekend and how it worked out for you?
Yeah, I would, as a matter of fact. We got a couple minutes to do that right now.
You know what? Let me just throw it up on the screen, and I think we need like a congratulations, like a correct, because Neal making people happy on Twitter.
To quote Art Smith, I'm just out here making people's dreams come true.
That's right. You're making
just like
dreams
Art
come true.
with the kids in the dollar store. I'm making it rain. The get right pick of the week, Terry. The late night Saturday night special, Nevada over Hawaii. Comfortable win. I mean, it was a little tense in the first quarter. Hawaii scored on their first play. As a 14-point underdog. But in the end, Nevada, never a doubt, cruised to a win. And people were tweeting at me. Steve Brown tweeted at me and said, "Thanks for the pick."
Okay,
Uncle
but
Neal's
he tweeted
get right
you at
pick
8.
came
He
through.
tweeted you at 8 a.m. He should have been tweeting you at 2:30 up watching the game.
Well,
He
Terry
probably fell asleep.
Yeah, Terry, that's my caveat with my late night get right picks is you got to work for it. I'm not just handing stuff out to you for free.
But most of the time, you wake up in the morning happy.
I'm just saying you do.
Well, you should watch it all the way through and then wake up happy.
Yeah, we're putting it together at a pretty good clip here, Terry.
I don't want to sweat through it. I just want to wake up in the morning and say, okay, I won my money. All right, cool.
And that's there for you. That's an option. Right. You know, I have a little more respect for the people that watch CBS Sports Network up until 2 a.m. Because, Terry, I only take games. You either got to stream them off the Mountain West website or you got to watch them on CBSSports.com. You got to work for it, Terry.
Or you could have watched it if you were living in California. It was on NBC California.
There
so you
go.
could have done it there, too.
Yep. So there you have it, Terry. I'm making people's dreams
You don't
a reality.
have to work for it. You get paid either way. All you got to do is bet on it.
Well, that is true too, Terry. But that doesn't.
Yeah, but
help
he
the
wants
bit.
you to watch it as well.
Yeah, I want to. I stay up and watch it because I want to come through for the people.
Okay.
Art will tell you, man. I'm vested in this stuff.
You are.
I don't just show up here and say flip a coin and say, "Oh, I'll take Nevada."
No, you're no Disneyland dad.
No,
you're in the trenches with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I got you guys.
You know what? You keep making great picks, and we all could be going to Disneyland. Thanks to Uncle Neal.
Did you do research on Nevada's flight to Hawaii? Is that why you picked Nevada?
For those that know, and Terry, look, I took BYU when they were at home against South Florida. And I wanted to see if South Florida came in Friday before the game or Thursday before the game. So there's flight trackers out there where you can track people's flights, and I saw that they chartered in from Tampa on Thursday. And I did say, to be fair, because South Florida ended up covering and kind of that was one of the ones I lost, I didn't feel as good about it because they came in on Thursday instead of Friday. But that's the depth, Terry, that I'm going to for these people.
You are a true professional.
He does what others can't.
He's scary.
Well, but not that they can't, but that they won't. He does what others won't.
And here we go. Canuck Duke says, Uncle Neal is like the tooth fairy in this regard. Dom Rivera says, old Uncle Neal. Mike says, rule breakers making it rain, building draft capital and breaking Hawkeyes fans' hearts. No, the Hawkeyes do that to themselves, Terry.
They do. I like the name, the rule breaker.
No, but Terry, we've seen this act out of Iowa before.
We have.
And anyone that thought that they were going to win the Big Ten, and I thought that they would win their side of the Big Ten because their schedule was a joke like that. But this is Iowa, man. But people really believed this year, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, well, they were ranked was high as 2.
2. They were number 2.
Right. So, yeah, people fell for the fake. And that's going to happen. But, Michigan and Michigan State are doing the same thing that Iowa did, but they are way back behind them. I don't get it.
No, and I will give Purdue's football social media team a lot of credit. They put out a tweet. They said, we beat the number 2 out of Iowa. Which
was a good one.
Yeah, which was pretty strong. So that was pretty good. But Iowa's no longer a factor. The Big Ten teams will start to I guess you would say consume each other at this point, though. Terry.
But they're still a factor.
No, they're not.
They can win the West.
Cool.
Be in the Big Ten title game. Look for an upset.
They're not getting in the playoff.
No, Iowa doesn't belong in the playoffs.
But by your scenario that you put out there, say they do win the West, say they beat Ohio State or Michigan or whoever,
they're not making it.
They ain't getting in. And I had to sit there and take the Fox pregame show, and I should have had this clipped. The Fox
pregame, Big Noon Fox kickoff.
The Big Noon Fox kickoff show. They're talking about the scenarios of how the Big Ten could get 2 teams in the.
Yeah,
you're not
good
getting
luck.
2 teams in the playoff.
No, you may not get one.
Right. In the end, because that's the way it's going to go down. But as far as the Big Ten goes, that's where it's at.
They need a little bit of insurance.
They do. They need some insurances. And look, guys, when you watch the games, you're bombarded by insurance ads promising to save you money. But if you really want to save money, you need our new sponsor, Legacy Partners Insurance. They're independent. And look, guys, here's the key with this insurance game, okay? They're independent. They're going to shop between 7 and 10 carriers for your insurance. Personal to you, what you need, and they're going to find you the best deal. It's an economic transaction, folks. They're going to get multiple quotes for you, and you can pick out the very best one to save you the most amount of money possible. Here's what you got to do. Call 586-209-4106. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you just for getting a quote. and saying Woodward Sports sent you, you'll be put in a drawing for a $50 gift card. You can call or go to LegacyPartnersINS.com. That's LegacyPartnersINS.com. The INS is short for insurance, people. Let's get with the program here. Go to LegacyPartnersINS.com/Woodward today. Get that insurance quoted out, guys. Save some coin with Legacy Partners Insurance.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. The legend, Terry Foster, in the house here as well. Happy to have you all with us. Joik Bell, Darren McCarty will be back tomorrow. Very happy Darren McCarty, I would imagine. His Red Wings 1-0-1, Terry.
I know, and Dylan Larkin smacked somebody.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Mike wants to know, Terry, will the Bearcats get screwed again, or will Cincinnati be told to stay out like Guardian Alarm?
Stay out.
1-800-STAY-OUT, Cincinnati Bearcats. I think they're going to get screwed.
Machiavelli Sucks says, if Alabama gets in, this playoff is a scam. And no, because you're going to get to the point where a road loss at Texas A&M, who was number 5 in the country at one point, that's what it is,
right,
versus road losses to Purdue.
And look what Alabama has done in the playoffs before.
And that matters. And I know that in a perfect world, Terry, the last year has nothing to do with this year, except when it does.
Absolutely. For instance, the Heisman it's supposed to be based on that one season, but it's not.
It becomes a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is. And Alabama's going to get in, folks. Now, if they don't win, they're up against it. They have to run the table. They have to beat Georgia. But when you walk through and your only ding on your resume is a loss at Texas A&M, where they pay their coach $75 million and use every available resource, too, that's good enough to be in the playoffs.
And then you would have to beat the number 1 team in the nation. And when the SEC, which supposedly is the toughest conference in the nation, they're getting in.
They are. They're absolutely getting in. So that's the answer to it. D. Smitty says Bryce Young to the Lions. Hey, D. Smitty, Neal's plan is going to have enough draft capital to go ahead and do that, too. So, another Alabama quarterback. Mac Jones last night, man, gave the game away and then took it back and made a play. Now, ultimately, they lost, but that wasn't on Mac Jones. Mac Jones was good last night, Terry.
He was good. And people don't like Mac. Well, they didn't like Mac Jones because he's not the swiftest of foot.
Right.
But the dude can play.
He can. He certainly can play, and he's 4th in the NFL in completion percentage. Rookie out of Alabama, unathletic. Everyone showed the picture, the social media picture of him, the physique, look out there looking like art, you know.
Literally.
But hey,
I was like, I could be a QB too.
Accuracy matters, man. Unbiased Sports Talk says if Bama beats Georgia, Georgia still gets in, and I agree. If Georgia runs a table and your only blemish is a loss to Alabama, you're in too. You see how we're running out of spots here for Fox Big Noon's kickoffs? Oh, the Big Ten can get 2 teams in. I mean, I know we're Big Ten fans here, but even the most ardent Big Ten fan finds that laughable, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Because the top of the Big Ten is not as strong as the top of the SEC.
Yeah.
But the Big Ten should get 1 team in.
What do you got, Fish?
What happens if Iowa wins the Big Ten championship game? Then what do? Do you forget the Big Ten should have someone in, just pull the Big Ten out? Or do you put the team that played Iowa in the Big Ten championship in?
Yeah, see,
By the way, that's Mr. Ryan Armani, who also thinks 2 Big Ten teams should be in.
Can somebody ask?
But
I gotta call
I'm not throwing him totally under the bus. I'm pushing him near the edge.
You should be on there. Ryan Armani, love the dude, but you know who he is? Howdy Doody.
A ding ding?
He is Howdy Doody.
He's Howdy Doody.
He's like, oh, Michigan is great. The Big Ten is great. Oh, I love everything here. He is Howdy Doody.
That is correct, yeah.
Ooh, Fish.
vintage Howdy Doody.
I honestly think Michigan State's going to kill Michigan, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, I do too.
Well,
Michigan State will
let's have
walk
the much too early discussion about that for a few minutes here, Terry. Right now, how do you see that one going down? Right now, as we sit.
Killing.
I can't get a read on it. I want to. You know what? I was convinced Michigan State was going to win that game, and then I saw this crapper against Indiana where they're still making mental mistakes. Now I have no idea. I think Michigan State has the better, the better playmakers than Michigan. Even though Michigan fans, oh no, that's not true. No, it is true. But Michigan's defense impresses me more than Michigan State's.
Michigan does lead the rivalry, by the way.
They do.
71-37 and 5 ties.
That's one of my favorite stories too. When Michigan State was an agricultural school before face masks.
I just knew bringing it up. I knew it would set a fire.
No, I mean, but that's what I hear all the time, man. Like if you want to count the 40s and stuff like that, that's your prerogative. You do what you want to do.
But Terry, 70s and 80s?
I'm a big face masks guy.
Michigan does lead in the trophies, though, 38-28-2. So, and the longest win streak, Michigan owns that. Now, that did happen, Neal, from 1916 to 1929.
Maz is probably at all those games.
And they were face masks then. Just saying.
No, but that's always my point about that.
To make you feel better, Neal, Michigan State is on a streak right now. They're on a 1-game win streak. So.
No. Are they like 6-4 in the last 10 or so? I haven't done all the research.
I think
for all the
you can
numbers.
go back 20 years and Michigan State has a winning record against Michigan.
Is that what it is?
I could find that out for you guys.
About the same time frame since Michigan has won a Big Ten title, huh?
Yes, sir.
Pretty much coincides with all that.
Mm-hmm.
You can also bring that up to talk about Ohio State, Michigan as well.
Juice says, Neal, you get so mad, I almost want to troll you with it. No, it's fine because I have facts on my side.
Since 2008, Michigan has only won against Michigan State 4 times.
Yep.
Wow, it's that bad, huh?
Yeah, so
4?
And Michigan has been on a streak, or Michigan State has been on a streak before, like from 2008 to 2011.
But every time they play, Michigan is the favorite, and they will be the favorite in 2 weeks.
Not necessarily.
Even if they lose to Northwestern, they will be the favorites in that game.
They will be the favorites.
Last year's game, 27-24 was pretty close. The year before that, though, Michigan murdered Michigan State 44-10.
They mollywopped them in that game.
Yeah. I don't know if we're allowed to say that anymore. Is that a drug reference? According to YouTube, it is. So,
I think right now in my gut, I think I would probably lean towards Michigan in that game too, because I talk about the attitude and the toughness with Michigan State. I wonder at what point will Michigan say enough? You know when will they go to that level too? Because they haven't in the past. You know what I'm talking about, Terry?
Well, I don't know, because they finally have said, well, we're going to pay attention to Ohio State, which you're supposed to do every day of the year. So I don't know. Maybe you can't do it. Maybe the fact is it means more to Michigan State than it does to Michigan.
And I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair to say. I think a Michigan fan, deep down, being honest with themselves, I think would agree with that take, Terry. That it has mattered.
They won't
more.
admit it. It won't come out of their mouth. Here's my piece of advice for University of Michigan fans. Do not talk that little brother crap the week of the game.
Oh, they're going to.
Doing it on Twitter.
They're not doing it as loud as they usually do.
They're talking about getting, filling up the bars and this and that. And it's like, ugh, shut up. Just stop.
All it does is it angers the Spartan players. It riles up the coaches, pisses off the players, and these dudes elevate their game based on that.
Would you say who is the game more important for, obviously, at this moment, Michigan State or Michigan?
I think it's more important than Michigan. Here's why. Because if Jim Harbaugh loses 2 in a row to Mel Tucker, who just came in off the streets or out of Colorado and took
got
over
his
Michigan
players
State's
off
program.
of Zoom calls.
Yeah, got his players off of Zoom calls, remade 50% of his roster, and he's lost to him twice in a row. You need to seriously look at, do you want to keep Jim Harbaugh as your coach? I think that's why it's more important than Michigan.
I don't think I think he's a coach there for as long as he wants to be, regardless of what happens.
Well, you
because
might
they
be
would have
right.
done something before if they
I'm
were.
saying if I'm in charge, I'm looking at that.
Real quick before we go to break, do you agree with D. Smitty on YouTube who says Michigan cares more about Ohio State than MSU?
100%.
So then why is it a more important win for Michigan then? You know what I'm saying?
Because they have to have both at some point.
Right.
At some point, they have to have both. And that's where it is. So, I don't. Again, this is just me. My early returns is I think I'm going to lean towards Michigan in that game.
If you feel so confidently, make it your get right medium Saturday.
No, because they're probably going to have that game kick at noon.
Right, exactly.
And I can't get you right.
No,
if
at noon.
At
yeah,
noon, no.
there's very little chance it'll be. I'd love to have it 7:30. It's not going to be 7:30. It's not going to happen.
Why don't they do? I love
They
night
had
games.
that a few years ago in the rain. I don't know if any of you guys remember that when Michigan State won that game in the rain, 2017.
Oh, that's right. Because I remember Terry. Remember that game? It only rained on Michigan side of the
Oh,
field.
yep,
Sure,
that was
yeah.
another
That
thing.
happens all the time.
That's That's what I was told.
And what I was always told, you have to build a Big Ten team to deal with snow, rain, mud.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do in the Big Ten.
Well, you definitely need security. I mean, that's one thing. And if you need security, why don't you check out Guardian Alarm? Because they just get it, okay?
I don't think they want to play Michigan State.
I think
at night.
I think
y'all
that
start fighting.
I think that they need Guardian Alarm, Terry. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because to stay out. What were you saying earlier? The number was 1-800.
Get out.
Well,
Stay out. Well, stay out.
Guardian Alarm, good defense on and off the field, helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology to help you feel safe as well. So if you're looking for something to make you feel secure and safe, well, then look to Guardian Alarm because they have convenient features to let you check in on your home, control the lights, the temperature, detect smoke and carbon monoxide. You could also lock and unlock the doors. All you got to do is call this number. I need some help with this, Fish. It's 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
One more time. 1-800.
Stay out.
That's right. Guardian Alarm has been a trusted source for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Final segment of the show here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house for Joy Bell and Darren McCarty. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy you are with us on our YouTube chat thread. Machiavelli Sucks says, I'm tired of hearing about Alabama. Screw them. Well, the funny thing about that is they won the national title. He said their time is over. Well, I mean, they've had a heck of a time, I guess. They won the national title in 2009, 2011, 2012, 2015, 2017, 2020. Like, they're the dogs, man. Like, that's just the way it is.
And then every time they lose, we're shocked.
Yeah, that's the point that they're at right now. You know? Like, you're stunned when they lose.
Right.
And they lost at Texas A&M. Again, it was number 5 in the country earlier this year,
Texas
man.
A&M does have a solid football program.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they're a lot. They're more than Iowa, but they're along those same lines, right? Like, tell me all the big Texas A&M wins. I'll wait. There's no list.
But they're still dangerous. Well, Alabama. That was big.
No, it was big. It was big. Terry, since you were in a 30 for 30 about the Detroit Pistons,
I was.
You are. I mean, Pistons expert. They opened the season Wednesday night.
Yes.
Against
Excited
the Bulls
about that.
at LCA.
I'm excited about that. I remember when the Pistons and Bulls had a huge rivalry. So it's not one now. But, once again, I think we want to see the Pistons show some fight. Too bad, I haven't seen much of Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. The ankle injury situation.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's like preseason. Who cares? They probably think this young man is talented enough to, at some point, get his game back together because the NBA season is 82 games. You don't have to be sharp on game 1 or game 2. And what happens with a lot of young players, when they play through this grind, by January they're spent. So the Pistons might be thinking, you know what, let's just get it right. And then maybe in January or February, we have a fresher rookie and a guy that can do more later in the season than your normal rookie. I think that's might be the thinking back there, because you don't need him now.
And I would say, too, for this Pistons team, I know everyone's kind of lost in the sauce right now, and the number 1 overall pick and Cade Cunningham, he's being viewed as a savior. They're not there yet. And I think for the Pistons, it's a situation where their win total could still be in the 20s, and they could get better as a team. I honestly believe that, Terry, that they could win 28 games and still take a step forward, which is weird to say.
They could, although I think they'll be in the 30s. I'm being an optimist this year. I think there's good potential with this team. There's young guys who can play, they just don't know how to win.
And that's a process.
And that is a process, but I still think with that formula, they can get to 32, 33 wins.
Yeah, I would agree. Patty Grimes says we want Cade, and people are excited. And I'm not saying don't be excited. I'm just saying it's not a 50-win team, Terry.
No.
They're not there yet.
If they get 50 wins, then you have to wear a fedora.
I'll do that. I'll commit right there. I'll look right into that camera and
with
say,
a tank top.
I will do the tank top
okay.
too. And I'll just I'll sit there the whole time like that, like.
Yeah. In case you haven't noticed, I'm wearing a fedora.
Yeah.
With my tank top.
With the tank top. Does it need like a beer stain or something on the top of it, or
yeah?
It's
Just
don't
show your armpit hairs. That's all.
That's fair.
That's all we ask.
That's fair. D. Smitty says Pistons will be the 7th or 8th seed. I think that's certainly everyone will be excited by that. I think that's very much top end. That's if everything goes well. But yeah, one other thing here I did want to touch on, T-Foss, since you are here, and a lot of people are talking about that. The Jared Goff situation, think he gets benched?
No. I do not think he gets benched, and there's no need to, because he doesn't have wide receivers. The offensive line is not playing as well as we thought it was going to be. And, yes, he has not played well, but I go back to Matthew Stafford. Way different, better quarterback now that now he's on a real team. What happened with Jared Goff, who took a team to the Super Bowl, by the way, he's no longer with a real franchise. You have to look at the flaws of the Detroit Lions. Is David Blah going to come in there and light a team up? Hell no. It's just
people want answers from something that there's no answer for.
I know. I am tired of this talk. This is not just Jared Goff talk, but I've heard every Lions starting quarterback should be benched at some point. And it just gets tiring. It's because these guys are quarterbacking a bad team. And people are reluctant to just say, oh, the Lions stink forever. So, no, I'm not benching Jared Goff, and neither should the Lions.
Here's Johnny.
What's the point?
Here's Johnny says it was a mistake to get Goff in the first place. And I would say no, because it netted them a first-round pick for taking him back.
Oh, yeah.
He was a bridge guy the whole time. He was never not going to be a bridge guy.
Right. Even if he was playing well, he's a bridge guy because he's making too much money.
Right. And, again, you got to get that quarterback and get him on the rookie contract. And now, Terry, see what you started here? Mike says, if Zadina or Luka Garza make the All-Star team, Neal has to wear a fedora. Like, that's the rabbit hole we're going down now.
Well, they're not going to make – but if they do make it, you got to wear a fedora, tank top, a pink one.
All right, if Zadina makes the All-Star team, I'll wear a fedora. Somebody's got to keep track of all this now, because I can't. Like, there's a lot.
Write it down, Fish.
There's a lot going on. If the Lions beat the Rams, wear the fedora.
Mm-hmm.
If Zadina makes the All-Star team, wear a fedora. I feel like there was another one that I'm missing.
Pistons make the playoffs?
No, it was something to do with Michigan, I do believe. Correction?
I don't remember. That's fair. If the Pistons make not the play-in game.
No, that doesn't count.
The playoffs. If the Pistons make the playoffs, I'll wear the fedora.
Top 8 moving forward.
Okay. I'll even give you that, Terry. If they finish in the top 8, I'll wear the fedora, because 7 and 8 have to play in that stupid play-in game now.
Right.
But everyone likes it because the TV ratings are big, so they're not going to go against it.
Well, they got to win it. They got to win that stupid game.
If they finish in the top 7 or 8, I'll do it.
Okay.
So there you have it. Pistons in the top 8. Or if they finish 9 or 10 and win the game and get in the playoffs, I'll wear it then too.
Okay, good.
So that's our list. That's our fedora list.
We got fun coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. T-Foss, always fun running with you, man.
I had a blast.
Absolutely. Big thank you to everybody watching, following along, all the social media channels as well. Fish and Art, appreciate you guys too, man. You guys dominate as always. That'll do it for Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.